I think Saucony probably has the best sort of trainer racer lineup this year. Good morning, welcome back to the vlog. I've got a cheeky chocolate muffin for breakfast. These were in the reduced section last night, so yeah, that's breakfast sorted for this morning. Look at that, looks great. So just as I pressed record outside there, the roadwork started and next door neighbour's dog was barking at me. So yeah, back in the kitchen. This morning I'm going to be taking out the Saucony Pro 3 down to my road loop for a speed session. The session is 6 by a kilometre, a little bit different. I'll explain it a little bit more when I get down there. But yeah, the Pro 3, I've almost put 50 miles into this shoe already. I've done pretty much everything in it, apart from some speed testing. So after that, I'll be able to give you my full first impressions. I've taken it out on recovery runs, easy runs, long runs. I've done a little bit of tempo work in it. And yeah, this morning I will be putting it through its paces over the sort of 5 and 10k speed. I'll quickly go over some of the stats of this shoe before we head out. This is Saucony's latest road racing shoe, full power run PB midsole, which is this white chunk. There is a lot of it in this shoe. In fact, 4 mil more than the Pro 2s, the predecessor. You've got 39.5 in the heel, which is the very upper limit that the World Athletics allows in shoes to be road legal, dropping to 31.9 in the forefoot. So that's a total of a 8 mil drop, sorry. You've also got a full length carbon plate, which you can actually see through this little window here in the bottom of the midsole and also in the forefoot here. That is the carbon fibre plate in there as well. In my UK size 8, this weighs 204 grams, so it's a very lightweight shoe, perfect for racing, and in the UK these cost £210. So yeah, they're the main stats and figures. Let's get down to my road loop and do some speed testing this morning before I give you my first impressions review of this pretty leery looking shoe. So it's 9 o'clock, and it's already getting pretty warm here. Highs of 26, 27 degrees today, but it's about 20, 22 at the moment. It's going to get warm. So today's workout is actually my only speed session that I have programmed this week. I'm doing it on the Wednesday. I've got a 5k road race on Friday and a track 3k on Saturday. So yeah, busy weekend of racing, hence why just one speed session this week. I raced last Friday night down in Wimbledon at the 5,000 metres, and thanks for all the love on that vlog by the way, really appreciate that. So this morning's workout is the classic 6x k, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. I think I saw this on Strava, I can't remember who was doing it, but basically the first kilometre rep is at 5k pace and the second rep is at 10k pace, and then you alternate between 5k 10k pace for the reps. So this morning I'm going to aim to get down to that 3-minute kilometre for all the odd reps, and then around 3:10 per kilometre, which is my 10k pace for all the even reps.
So it should make the workout a little bit interesting, focusing on working on that 5k speed ahead of my race on Friday. But yeah, only 6 kilometers of work and only 3 kilometers of those are at 5k pace, so it shouldn't be too much that I'm fatigued going into the race, but it should be enough to sort of bridge the gap between the 2 races that I've had recently and set me up well for the weekend's races. That's the plan anyway. I'm just coming onto the road loop now, do my final bit of warm up and stretches, then we'll jump straight into the workout. There we go, 6 by K done. I think pretty much all of them were on pace in terms of my 5 and 10k pace, so I'm really happy with that. I'll go over it a bit more when we get back to the house. Oh my god, that is hot. I am sweating so much. Hopefully that'll set me up nicely for this Friday's 5k race. Good to get some speed in the legs again. They're feeling a little bit tired, especially my quads after the 5,000 metres on Friday, but hopefully a couple more days of easy jogging and we'll be ready to go in the best shape possible on Friday night. But yeah, good session. Okay, so I'm back from that workout this morning. Overall went really well in the Pro 3s. I'll quickly just go over some of the differences between the Pro 3 and the Speed 3 in just a minute, but let's jump onto Strava, have a look at the session. So yeah, 6 by a kilometre with a minute walk in between. First rep was 2:57, so around my 5k pace or my target 5k pace, and then the second rep was 3:09, which is around my 10k pace. Third rep 2:59, 3:06, 2:53, 3:07. So overall, really chuffed with that workout. Let's have a look at that heart rate data. So yeah, as you can see there, heart rate going up nicely during the reps to around 180, max of 183. So a little bit higher than threshold this morning. So quickly, before I jump into my breakfast, some scrambled egg on toast, I thought I'd talk you through the main differences between the Pro 3 and the Speed 3, because I get a lot of people asking me that on Instagram. So Pro 3 is designed for road racing. You've got 4mm more stack height than the Speed in the heel and in the forefoot. Both have an 8mm drop, so they're quite similar in that sense. This is more designed for training, and as a result it has a nylon plate, which is a little bit more forgiving. As you can see here, it gives a little bit more. So yeah, perfect for training. It's not as rigid, which can make the legs a little bit sore if you're sort of training a carbon racing shoe all the time. So it's nice to have that nylon plate, but it has the same sort of Power Run PB midsole, just a little bit lower stack height. And the other main difference is it's more designed for comfort, a bit more cushioning in the heel, the tongue, that sort of thing. Moving on to the Pro 3, you've got the carbon fibre plate, so it's much firmer. It feels a little bit more responsive. You've got more of the foam underfoot, so it just feels a little bit more bouncy. And yeah, this is designed for the racing. But yeah, the main differences there are the stack height, the nylon plate, and the comfort really. I personally think the Speed 3 is such a great shoe that sometimes the Pro 3 gets overlooked a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna just have some of my breakfast and then I'll go over my full first impressions review of the Saucony Pro 3. If you want to watch my full review of the Speed 3, I'll leave a link up in the top right there. You can click on that. But yeah, really enjoyed both of these shoes from Saucony. I think they've really upped their game this year, and it's nice to see them competitive with the likes of Nike, Adidas, and Asics out there on the roads. So I'm all freshened up and ready to give my first impressions of the Pro 3. As always with shoe reviews on this channel, I'll go over some likes and dislikes. I'll then go over how I'm going to use this shoe moving forward, and finally conclude my thoughts and opinions on this marathon or road racing shoe from Saucony. So first of all, let's talk about that midsole. I really enjoyed the soft, bouncy ride. As opposed to some of the other super shoes out there, it's not quite as firm as, say, for example, the Vaporfly or the Metaspeed Sky, but it gives you a nice, bouncy, smooth, rolling sensation when moving along the road. And I really enjoyed that on both my long run, my tempo runs, and that speed session this morning. Now with the Pro 2, I actually struggled a little bit with that shoe with stability issues. I found when landing on the midfoot/heel area, it just felt a little bit unstable to me. Whereas the Pro 3, I feel like they have made improvements to that. It feels a lot more stable, especially on those corners, and obviously this shoe is now a much higher stack height than its predecessor, 39.5mm in the heel, but I didn't find any stability issues with it this morning, especially on the corners, which is a great plus point to the shoe, especially because it's so soft and there is so much foam. I thought that may be a concern and I didn't find that, so yeah, another plus point. Of all the marathon racing shoes that I've tried recently, I would say this upper is the most breathable. It's got a lot of holes in it which allow a lot of air through, so if you're racing in a hot climate, or you're somebody who gets hot feet when they run, then yeah, this is great for keeping the feet ventilated. And finally, I really liked the outsole of this shoe. Super shoes and outsole, sometimes they're a bit more stripped back to save weight, which means sometimes they don't perform very well in the wet, but I did a few runs where it was sort of a little bit damp underfoot, even on the grass, sort of morning dew type thing, and yeah, it gripped very well. So I would say the outsole is also something that I liked about this shoe. I'd be confident racing in wet conditions in the Saucony Pro 3, which is not something you can always say for super shoes. And moving on to my dislikes, one of which was this groove here on the bottom of the shoe. Through the midsole, it shows off the carbon fibre plate that this shoe has, but I just found when landing on sort of stones and debris out on the road, I was getting like, I could feel the rocks basically going in this groove, and I could hear them like scraping away at the carbon fibre plate. I remember standing on a rock and it was made an awful sound. So I don't know if that's more of a design feature over performance, but I personally would cover that area up. Carbon fibre isn't necessarily the strongest material, and I think over time, if you keep standing on stones or you're out on gravelly roads, then you're going to damage the carbon fibre plate there. My only other dislike, which is a bit of a weird one, I've not had this with any other shoe, is that this pink upper was actually staining my socks. So I take my shoe off after my run, and around the tongue area and the area where you tie your shoelaces, my socks are being stained pink from this upper, which is weird. I don't know if some of the dye is coming off, or if it's just sort of like, I don't know, the fabric. So finally, onto my uses and my conclusions. I personally am going to be using this shoe more as a long run option. That midsole is nice and soft, very, very protective. When out on the roads, sort of, you don't feel too much of the ground, and as a result, I find that I can recover pretty quickly from the impact related fatigue that running can cause. So shin splints, just achy legs basically. This shoe seems to save them, so for long runs it's ideal. For me, on this morning's run, I found it a bit more comfortable at the sort of 10k pace over the 5k pace. So for me, it's more of a half marathon racing shoe as opposed to a 5k shoe. I just find that's how the midsole responds best in this shoe at those sort of efforts, as opposed to sort of max speed, which is a good thing. I'm definitely going to be able to use it a lot more in my training compared to some super shoes that are more sort of specific, let's say. I found when jogging and warming up in this shoe, it was also very comfortable. So I expect this shoe to sort of suit a range of runners, a range of paces. I've ran about 5-minute kilometers in this shoe and it felt great. And this morning we were running around 3-minute kilometers and it also felt good. So another plus point to this shoe. But that pretty much summarizes my first impressions of the Saucony Pro 3. If you'd like to pick up the Pro 3 or the Speed 3 from Saucony, you can do so at ProDirect, and I've left a link down below. A little bit of a disclaimer, it is an affiliate link and I get something like 3% off sales. So if you want to help support the channel, then you can do so by picking up your Saucony shoes from Pro Direct, along with all of your other running kit. But yeah, until next time, really enjoyed the Pro 3 and the Speed 3. I think Saucony probably has the best sort of trainer racer lineup this year. I know Nike have tried to do it in the past with the sort of the Tempo Next Percent and the Alpha Fly. For me, that didn't really work, but these two are exceptional shoes, and I think a lot of people are going to get on really well with these this year. If you pick either of them up, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. But yeah, until next time, aspire to run, run to inspire, and we'll see you again soon with another race vlog this Friday.